Let's do this. All right, I'm at Sulphur Springs Conversation Area, just outside Hanover, Ontario. It snowed all night. It is like the most idyllic conditions you can imagine for a hike slash ruck. That's actually what I have on my back right now, is my rucksack. So I've got 40 pounds in there this morning. Trails seem like there's a lot of people on them, which is awesome because that's how it should be on a beautiful morning like this. So let's have a nice little hike through the snow. This is a nice, often overlooked feature of a conservation area, is the washrooms. And are they accessible even in the winter? And it looks like these ones are. So, yep, they're open. All along here, the fence line, you can see every 4 posts or so, there's a birdhouse. And let's see if we can get a closer look. Someone's got to clear the top of those birdhouses there. I don't know if you guys can see this, but there is a swan. Let's see if we can get a better angle on it. Can you see that swan? Look how big it is. Every time I see a swan, I'm like, man, that is a big bird. Not to be confused with Big Bird. I'm going to try and get a better angle on that very beautiful bird when we walk around the other side. Whoa, look at the size of these icicles. My daughter would be losing her mind right now. Oh my gosh. Enormous. Dare I? No, definitely not. I had that happen as a kid. And it ripped the skin off my tongue. Not making that same mistake twice. No way, icicle. That's very beautiful. That's actually one of the nice parts about this part of southern Ontario. I guess we're still considered to be in southern Ontario. Is that you get a lot of snow. A lot of snow, especially on a year like this. They've had just a boatload of snow, and if you like winter, this like Grey Bruce County area, you're 2-3 hours from Toronto, but still in southern Ontario. Nice area to live. Quiet too, very quiet, which is ideal for some people, namely myself. This is cool. So they have a naturalist program, a junior naturalist program, age 7 to 12, and only $40 a child for an 8-month program. You need to come out here and learn about nature. That's pretty neat. Cameras never seem to do justice to snow, but or really anything in nature, but it's just so beautiful with when you get this fresh snow that's still resting on the trees, and it's all very precarious and just kind of barely balancing on the trees. It just makes for such nice scenery. And so if I find a place that I can sit, or just a bench or something, I'm definitely going to do that, because this is why you go outside in the winter. This is why you hike. These views and this peacefulness right here is why. Now we're going into some thicker forest here. As you know, if you've watched any of my other videos, this is probably my favorite part of any forest, is when it transitions from like it's more wide open back there and bright, and you transition into another part of the forest where it's more there's more coverage, and it's just a bit darker and quieter. And in the summertime, the sun, you escape the sun, which is always nice. And here we come up to a bridge. Speaking of favorite things when hiking, not only do I love forks in the road, because you could kind of pick your adventure, but I love bridges. Bridges are, I don't know, I just love them. I love the crunch. Let's see if we can get some crunching going on. I don't know if you could hear that, but very crunchy. And a bridge typically always takes you across something, does it not? And in this case, it's this little creek. Fit my boot in there almost. It's a pretty big opening. Okay, here's another opportunity to just enjoy the sounds of walking on snow in a peaceful area. So here's some ASMR for you. Here's some sounds of the forest in the snow. Enjoy. I just passed a group of, let's say, middle, upper-aged women who I heard from way off in the distance. They were laughing so hard, and they were like, what if there's coyotes up ahead? And then somebody said, oh, there's a person. And so I said to them, well, if there are any coyotes, they heard you guys a long time ago, and they are out of here. And they started laughing, and then one of them said, we were laughing so loud because one of the women in our group had to take a pee. And so she had to run into the bush. And I mean, like, there's snow everywhere. So I guess her running into the bushes to take a pee was side splitting in its hilarity, which I could see. They were having a great time. I'm not at all upset or anything like that. It was, their laughs were, you can hear them from probably kilometers away. So get out here with friends, have fun, be silly. And this is what it's all about. This might be hard to see, but I'm trying to show how deep it is, and it's about up to my mid shin is in this one spot. So, you know, at least a foot, I'm going to say, of snow, because that was actually a recess point. So at least a foot of snow out here. Okay, really fun thing to do when it's snowing and there's fresh snow on the trees, especially on these like evergreen coniferous trees. Grab a branch, shake it. Snowstorm. If you're with kids, they love that. They love snowstorms. And even if you're with adults, it's fun. It's just silly fun, which we could all use a little bit more of. So make it snow on each other, all right? Okay, another wayfinding sign. The problem is, I didn't take a photo on my phone, which I normally do when I show up somewhere. Take a photo of all the paths so that if you're ever on a path and you're not exactly sure where you are, you can reference that photo. Or if you really want to, you can just take out your phone and open maps and see where you are. But that relies on you always having reception. And if you go hiking, especially in places outside of cities or more remote, reception isn't always a given. So it's a really good idea to take photos of where you are, or where the trails are, so you can make your way back. But that's fine. That's fine. It'll be good. There's a lot of people out today. It's always, you can always ask a question if you're not unsure of yourself. So something to be aware of when you are in the snow and you think, you know what, I want to rough it. I want to go off the trail, or your dog, if you're with your dog and you let them off the trail. Make sure you know where you're stepping, because that is water right there. And sure, it's not deep, tiny little creek, but I know I don't want to fall in it. I don't want to get wet and have to drive home with a completely soaked boot and shoes and just a cold leg in general, or legs, or heaven forbid, it's deeper than that. Just make sure that you're aware of where you're walking. You can often use footprints of dogs or other people as kind of a marker for what might be safe or not safe. Something to keep in mind. The trees are much taller here, with a much taller canopy. I'm going to say that's like 5-6 stories, maybe more. Beautiful. Beautiful, man. This is awesome. We're going uphill too a little bit, so I can feel my heart rate climbing. Miller Family Celebration Forest, Saugeen Valley Conservation Fund. I hope it's a long time before, hello squirrel, before I pass on. But when I do, for anyone who's watching and knows my family, I would like something like this. A nice picture, a nice trail dedicated to all the people who like hiking or just want to be outdoors. Let my legacy be a trail, okay? I think that's outside of my family and stuff, of course, and my children, but that's all I really would want. Kind of morbid, I get it, on such a beautiful day, but it just made me think. I love when I come across things like that and you see, this is dedicated by this family, or this bench was paid for by this family, rest in peace, grandma and grandpa, or something like that. I just love seeing things like that, because it's the little actions that seem insignificant that make these types of areas just so beautiful and enjoyable, and people are able to come and just appreciate all of this, because people alive and who have left us allowed us to, and continue to allow us to. It's a nice point of gratitude. Ooh, a bench. All right, that should kind of give you an idea of how much snow we're talking about here. Hey, how about that? Let me go sit in it. Let's see what this is. Congratulations. This tree is a special tribute to Bill Pepler on the occasion of his 80th birthday, from Ed and Fern Pepler. Tree number 93, Screech Owl Forest. Conserving forests for tomorrow. Just after I talked about having something dedicated. So you don't even have to be deceased necessarily. It can be done when you're living, which is nice. Yeah, I want that Remember me that way with a little plaque in the forest, okay? Deal? Okay, tell my loved ones, please. Snow is sneaky, especially when there's a lot of it on the ground. Because you think at the beginning, you're like, this is fine. I'm walking through this pretty easily. But it's amazing how fast your legs get tired. And especially with 40 pounds on your back in a rucksack. And I've definitely been out here over an hour now in ankle-high snow the whole time. So I'm gonna head back, and there's a couple things to see around the parking lot area. Some animals and stuff that we'll go check out next. This is so neat how, about 10 feet up the whole way down is where the pines start to form, and then everything beneath 10 feet is completely barren on both sides, although this side here has more leaves lower down. So what I'm guessing happens is the sun is able to hit lower down on these trees to actually produce pines through photosynthesis. But then this side gets barely any sun beneath that 10, 12 foot mark. And so it's just all barren. Pretty neat. And it's right down. This is a straight line. So of course it's symmetrical in that sense. But you notice all these cool little phenomenons as long as you're paying attention as you walk through nature. Pretty neat. This place actually used to be a little bit more elaborate than this. You can see the welcome sign above the window, and these blinds, these curtains that have fallen down. Yeah, you can't really see in there, too dark. But they used to have like animals and like deer, and I think some other, maybe a donkey, I could be wrong. You'll see there's this is like a little I don't know what the right word for, I was gonna say stable, but that's not the right word. But they would have all the hay in there, and I guess people to feed them in the winter. And I don't know what happened. I don't know why they decided not to do that anymore. Maybe it was just costly. Maybe it was run on volunteers and they don't have volunteers. You never know with these. I'm not from here, right? So I don't know. But I do remember coming here before and seeing deer. And kind of like exotic birds. They had a bunch of cages for birds that you wouldn't obviously see here in Ontario. They still do have a lot of mallards. Hello, mallards. Nice little duck pond here with some bird food in that little hut there. I'm not sure if they can get to it, but little birds could, like chickadees and stuff. Hello. I don't have food for you, so don't worry about coming here. I do want to see if I can get a better angle on that swan from before. You know what that is? That, my friends, is a bat house. So the bats go in from underneath, and then those slats, I believe that's what they grab onto, and then they can create their homes in there, and a bunch of little bats. I think they're called hoary bats, Hoary. They can live in there. So you start to, more and more municipalities and even just private citizens are building them and hanging them in forested areas, which is always nice. Because bats are great. They eat the mosquitoes. That feels so weird with a 40-pound backpack just swaying on you. I love swings. Can you hear all those mallards going wah, 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 off in the distance? It's a big pond here that we're gonna walk up to in a moment. This is the history of the Sulphur Spring Conservation Area. Oh, there used to be like a whole administration center. I don't know if that's still doing its thing. 1975. Just some different pictures. It used to be called the Headquarter Conservation Area. That's neat. These are always fun to read. No fishing or hunting. This is a very popular area. Gray County, Bruce County. A lot of hunting goes on up here. A lot of deer, turkey. Even on the way up as we were driving up today. We saw, or last night rather, we saw turkey and deer in the fields. So you didn't think that you'd need to say something like that at a conservation area, but you know, you never know. You never know. You could certainly do some duck hunting here. Speaking of reminders that shouldn't need to be said, live wires, keep off. Oh no, rest in peace. Hopefully they didn't touch the live wire. What is this thing? Ooh, that's a funky looking fish. Or whale? Fish? Whale? Let's see. It doesn't really say. But Amy Cooney made it. It's neat. I like it. Another easy win for conservation areas, parks, is to hire local artists to create beautiful things that can then live in that park. And folks like myself and even locals can come and check it out and enjoy it. Oh, look at these two love ducks. Bye, sorry. Didn't mean to disturb your date. Alright, across the bridge. Oh, that bridge had a good crunch. Those are sounds you love to hear. Look at them all. My goodness, guys. Make a lot of noise. I know. Don't worry, I can't hunt you. I'm not allowed. This is the spot, man. This is like a nightclub for mallards. They're getting their party on. I believe you can rent this gazebo thing. Have a nice picnic, bring your family out. Beautiful area, man. Like, this is everything that you'd want a small town conservation area to be. Well maintained, park for the kids, lots of walking trails for people who like to hike or bike or cross-country ski. There was a couple people cross-country skiing as well. Take your dog for a walk. Hug a tree if that tickles your fancy. I like to hug a tree. They help us breathe, you know. All right, well, I think that's it for today. I wasn't able to find that swan, and my legs are just toast right now. So, and we still gotta go skating today at the arena, the local arena. So I'm gonna call it quits here, guys. But I appreciate you coming on a hike with me. Oh, I'll show you one more thing. One more thing. All right. This is what to see at the Sulphur Spring Conservation Area. So this is where we were earlier. This trail winds through a climax forest and features hardwoods such as American beech, hard maple, white ash, American elm, and black cherry. Small sections of the boardwalk and wooden bridges guide visitors over the low-lying areas. A portion of the hardwood highlands has been designated a celebration forest, officially called the Miller Family Celebration Forest. There you go. Individuals can dedicate a tree to someone special for any of life celebrations, such as birthdays, retirements, anniversary. Prices vary according to tree size. I gotta do it. That's gonna be a 2025 goal. I'm gonna buy a tree or commemoration of, I don't know, maybe not even myself, maybe somebody that I love. I'll do that this year, 2025. It's gonna happen. And see, they used to have bird pens, but it's closed. Apparently they still have deer. I don't think they do though. And the ponds, of course, there are fish, but you can't see any. It's just a lot of mallards. So anywho, there's the car, and that is about it for me today. Oh, sorry, one more thing. Look at this beautiful carving of a swan. I think it's a swan. Whoa. Amazing. People are so talented. All right. Take care, guys. Have a great day. Get outside.